Welcome to the Light and Shadow podcast. I am Gray, quantum informed spiritual mentor, founder of the Ethereus Academy, and creator of the Alchemical Pattern-to-Healing Framework. I work at the threshold where insight alone stops working and real transformation begins. This is the space for the spiritually aware who are ready to go deeper than healing has taken them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that you keep attracting the same astrological sign? Maybe every significant relationship in your life has been with, let's say, a Scorpio. Maybe your closest friends are always, let's say, Geminis. Maybe every boss who has pushed you to your breaking point has been a Capricorn. You chalk it up to coincidence, compatibility, preference. Maybe you joke about it, like, I cannot stop dating Scorpios. But what if it's not a coincidence? What if the universe, which operates through pattern, through resonance, through quantum entanglement of consciousness, is sending you the same energy signature repeatedly because you have not received the message yet? What if every person who enters your life carrying a specific astrological energy is not randomly assigned, but is a cosmic mirror reflecting back to you exactly what you need to face, heal, integrate, and become? Today, we're going sign by sign, not to tell you which signs are compatible with yours, not to tell you which signs to avoid, but to answer the deeper question. When a specific sign keeps showing up in your life, what is the universe trying to teach you? Because every sign carries an archetypal energy, a specific lesson, a particular mirror. And when that energy keeps appearing in your relationships, your friendships, your professional life, your family, it is not random. It is curriculum. This is astrology, not as personality typing, but as a soul map, a language the universe uses to tell you exactly what you are here to learn. So let's begin. Before we go sign by sign, let's establish how this works. Every astrological sign governs a specific domain of a human experience and carries a specific archetypal lesson. The signs aren't just personality descriptors, they are energetic frequencies, themes, invitations. When someone carrying a particular sign's energy enters your life with force, with intensity, with repetition, with emotional charge, they are activating something in you that is unresolved. The mirror principle. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, what you fear, what you have not integrated, and what you're ready to learn, whether you know it or not. So, when a Scorpio keeps appearing in your life, you're not just attracted to Scorpios. The scorpionic frequency, the transformation, the death and the rebirth, shadow, power, and depth is your active curriculum. The universe is saying this is what you need to face. 3 reasons a sign keeps appearing. 1, you carry an unhealed wound in that sign's domain. The sign mirrors the exact area of life where you have unresolved pain. 2, you need to develop that sign's gifts. The sign is showing you a quality you have not yet integrated into yourself. And 3, you are completing a karmic lesson that requires that specific archetypal energy as a teacher. Now let's go through every sign, and as we do, I want you to ask yourself, which sign keeps showing up for me? And what it has been trying to teach me. Let's start with Aries. Aries is the first sign, the pioneer, the one who acts before thinking, leads before being asked, and burns bright and fast. Aries energy is raw, initiating, unapologetic. If Aries keeps showing up in your life as a partner who is too aggressive, a friend who is relentlessly self-focused, or a colleague who steamrolls everyone in the room, the mirror is this. You are not claiming your own sovereignty. Aries appears when you have been shrinking, when you have been waiting for permission, When you have been so focused on other people's needs, other people's timelines, other people's comforts, that you have lost contact with your own desire, your own will, and your own life. The Aries in your life will frustrate you with their selfishness, their impulsiveness, their refusal to consider others. And in that frustration, the question the universe is asking is, when did you last put yourself first? When did you last act from your own desire without asking anyone's permission? The lesson Aries brings is this: stop waiting. Stop shrinking. Stop asking for permission to exist boldly. Your fire is not dangerous. Your suppression of it is. For example, you keep attracting Aries partners who are emotionally unavailable and self-focused. So instead of asking, why do I keep attracting selfish people? Ask, where am I not showing up for myself the way I am waiting for them to show up for me? Let's move to Taurus. Taurus is sensual, stubborn, slow-moving, deeply committed to comfort and security in the material world. Taurus energy says, I deserve pleasure. I move at my own pace. I will not be rushed. If Taurus keeps appearing in your life as someone impossibly stubborn, resistant to change, or so attached to stability that they suffocate growth, the mirror is this: you have an unhealed relationship with your own worth and your right to receive. Taurus governs self-worth, material security, and embodied pleasure. When Taurus shows up as a teacher, you are being asked, do you believe you deserve good things without earning them through suffering? Do you allow yourself to receive? Do you live in your body, or do you live entirely in your head? The frustrating Taurus in your life, who will not change, who clings to comfort, who refuses to evolve, is showing you your own rigidity around receiving love, around receiving abundance, and rest without guilt. So the lesson that Taurus brings is you are enough, exactly as you are. Slow down, receive. Your worth is not a transaction. For example, you keep attracting Taurus partners who are financially stable but emotionally unmovable. The question isn't why are they so stubborn, it is where am I refusing to receive what's already available to me, and why do I believe I have to struggle to deserve it? Let's move to Gemini. Duality is the twins, the communicator. The sign of duality, adaptability, mental agility, and when unintegrated, inconsistency, avoidance, and surface level engagement. If Gemini keeps showing up in your life as someone who says one thing and does another, who is brilliantly engaging but emotionally unavailable, who disappears and reappears without explanation, the mirror is this: you are in conflict with your own duality, and you are not saying what you actually mean. Gemini governs communication, the mind, and the integration of opposites. When Gemini appears as your teacher, the universe is asking, where are you being two-faced? Not necessarily dishonesty, but where are you showing different versions of yourself to different people? Where are you not speaking your full truth? Where are you speaking conversations at a surface level because the depth feels too dangerous? The Gemini who won't commit, who talks endlessly but never goes deep, who is everywhere and nowhere, is mirroring your own avoidance of depth and your own fractured self-expression. The lesson that Gemini brings is to integrate your contradictions. Speak your truth completely. Stop performing different versions of yourself for different audience. Wholeness comes when you stop splitting. For example, you keep attracting Gemini friends who are unreliable, always interesting, never consistent. So ask yourself, where in your own life are you inconsistent between what you say and what you do? Between who you are in public and who you are in private? Now, Cancer. Cancer is the nurturer, the empath, the one who feels everything deeply and whose first instinct is to protect, provide, and create safety for others. Cancer energy, when unintegrated, becomes enmeshment, emotional manipulation, and an inability to let go. If Cancer keeps showing up in your life as someone who is smothering, emotionally demanding, unable to set boundaries, or who makes you feel guilty for having needs, the mirror is this: you do not feel emotionally safe within yourself, and you are looking for home in other people. Cancer governs the emotional body, the inner child, the home, and the mother wound. When Cancer appears as your teacher, the question is, do you have a home inside yourself? Do you know how to self soothe without external reassurance? Have you healed your relationship with the mother energy in your life? Whether that's your actual mother or the part of you that needed nurturing and didn't receive it. The lesson Cancer brings is this: create emotional safety within yourself. Nurture yourself with the same ferocity you give others. Heal the inner child. Stop making other people responsible for your emotional regulation. For example, you keep attracting Cancer partners who are emotionally overwhelming, who need constant reassurance and make you feel responsible for their feelings. So ask yourself, where am I emotionally outsourcing? Where am I making someone else responsible for my sense of safety and belonging? Now, Leo. Leo is a sovereign, the performer, the one who commands a room and was born to be seen. Leo energy is generous, dramatic, warm, and, when unintegrated, ego driven, attention seeking, and incapable of sharing the spotlight. If Leo keeps showing up in your life as someone who makes everything about them, who needs constant admiration, whose ego fills every room, the mirror is this: you are hiding. You are not letting yourself be seen. And somewhere deep down, you believe you are not worthy of the spotlight. Leo governs self-expression, creative identity, and the heart. When Leo appears as your teacher, the universe is asking, where are you playing small to make others comfortable? Where are you dimming your light so no one feels threatened? Where do you secretly crave recognition but have convinced yourself you do not need it? The Leo who demands all the attention is showing you the part of yourself that desperately wants to be witnessed and has never given itself permission. The lesson Leo brings: you are allowed to take up space. Your gifts are meant to be expressed, not hidden. Self-love is not vanity. It is the foundation of everything you want to create. For example, you keep attracting Leo friends or partners who overshadow you. So instead of resenting their need for attention, you have to ask yourself, what would happen if I allowed myself to want recognition? Where did I learn that being seen was dangerous or selfish? Let's move on to Virgo. The analyst, the healer, the one who serves, refines, and seeks perfection in every detail. Virgo energy, when integrated, is precise, helpful, and deeply competent. When unintegrated, critical, anxious, and convinced that nothing, including themselves, is ever quite good enough. If Virgo keeps showing up in your life as someone relentlessly critical, anxious, controlling of details, who makes you feel like you're never doing enough, the mirror is this: your inner critique is running the show. You are measuring your worth by your productivity and your perfection. Virgo governs the mind-body connection, service, and self-improvement. When Virgo appears as your teacher, the question is, Where are you being mercilessly critical of yourself? Where is your worth contingent on how much you produce, how well you perform, how perfectly you show up? Where are you serving everyone else while neglecting your own healing? The lesson Virgo brings is that you do not have to earn your worth. Healing is not a performance, discernment is a gift. But turned inward as self criticism, it is a weapon. For example, if you keep attracting Virgo partners or colleagues who are hypercritical of you, then ask yourself, am I that critical of myself internally? Is their voice just the externalization of the one already living in my own head? Libra. Libra is a diplomat, aesthete, the one who seeks harmony, fairness, and beauty in all things. Libra energy, when integrated, creates a genuine connection and justice. When unintegrated, people pleasing, conflict avoidance, and loss of self in relationships. If Libra keeps showing up in your life as someone who can never make a decision, who tells everyone what they want to hear, who is so focused on keeping the peace that there is no authenticity in the relationship, then the mirror is this: you are abandoning yourself to keep relationships intact. You are choosing harmony over honesty. Libra governs relationship, balance, and justice. When Libra appears as your teacher, the question is this: where are you people pleasing at the expense of your own truth? Where are you maintaining false peace instead of having the real conversation? Where have you lost yourself in a relationship? Because the conflict felt too costly. The lesson Libra brings is this: real harmony is not the absence of conflict, it is the presence of truth. You cannot actually connect with someone while performing for them. So drop the performance and have the real conversation. For example, if you keep attracting Libra partners who are passive, indecisive, and tell you what you want to hear, then ask yourself, where am I doing the same thing? Where am I performing agreeableness instead of showing up as I actually am? Now, Scorpio. Scorpio is the most misunderstood sign in the zodiac, the transformer, the phoenix, the one who lives in the underworld so comfortably that they can take you there whether you are ready or not. Scorpio energy is intense, penetrating, uncompromising, and allergic to anything superficial. If Scorpio keeps showing up in your life as a partner who pulls you into obsessive, all-consuming connection, a friend who exposes every shadow you were hiding, a situation that forces total destruction before rebuild, the mirror is this: you are avoiding your own transformation. You are clinging to a version of yourself that needs to die. Scorpio governs death, rebirth, shadow, shared resources, and authentic power. When Scorpio appears as your teacher, and it will not be comfortable, the question is, what are you refusing to let go of? What version of yourself are you protecting that is actually keeping you small? And what shadow are you so afraid to look at that you have built an entire identity around not seeing it? Scorpio in your life will not let you stay comfortable. They will find the thing you are hiding, sometimes gently, often not, and they will hold it up until you look at it. The lesson Scorpio brings is this: your transformation is not optional, it is inevitable. The only choice is whether you do it consciously or whether you wait until life forces it through destruction. Look at your shadow. Do not fear your own depth. The power you have been seeking is on the other side of what you have been avoiding. So, for example, if you keep attracting Scorpio partners who are intense, possessive, and bring out both the best and the most destructive in you, then ask yourself, what part of me is a Scorpio trying to destroy so something more real can be born? What am I holding on to that has already died? Now let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the philosopher, the adventurer, the truth seeker, who cannot be caged and will not be told what to believe. Sagittarius energy is expansive, optimistic, and when unintegrated, commitment phobic, tactlessly honest, and perpetually restless. If Sagittarius keeps showing up in your life as someone who will not commit, who is always leaving for the next adventure, who speaks the unfiltered truth without regard for consequences, the mirror is this. You have made your world too small. You are living inside limitations you built yourself. Sagittarius governs expansion, philosophy, truth, and freedom. When Sagittarius appears as your teacher, the question is this: where have you settled? Where have you convinced yourself that the life you have is the life that's possible for you? Where are you so committed to your current belief system that you have stopped being curious about what else might be true? So the lesson Sagittarius brings is you are meant for more than this. The limitation is not external. It is the story you have accepted about what is possible. Expand, question, release the beliefs that have become a cage. For example, you keep attracting Sagittarius partners who will not fully commit, instead of focusing on their inability to stay. So ask yourself, where in my own life am I not fully committing to my own expansion? What truth am I avoiding that a part of me already knows? Let's move on to Capricorn. Capricorn, the architect, the authority, the one who builds slowly, deliberately, and with long-term vision. Capricorn energy is disciplined, strategic, and when unintegrated, cold, controlling, and convinced that love must be earned through achievement. If Capricorn keeps showing up in your life as an authority figure who is withholding and demanding, a partner who is emotionally unavailable but professionally impressive, a dynamic where you constantly feel like you are not measuring up, the mirror is this. You are chasing achievement as a substitute for self-worth. And you are looking for a father figure, an external authority to tell you you are enough. Capricorn governs ambition, structure, authority, and legacy. When Capricorn appears as your teacher, the question is, whose approval are you still trying to earn? Where does your sense of worth collapse without external achievement to prop it up? And where are you building a life that looks successful from the outside while feeling empty from the inside? The lesson Capricorn brings is this: authority lives within you. Achievement is hollow without integrity and self-respect underneath it. Stop building a life that impresses others and start building one that actually sustains you. So, for example, if you keep attracting Capricorn bosses or partners who are withholding with praise and recognition, ask yourself, whose voice inside me is never satisfied with what I have achieved? Who am I still trying to prove myself to? And why do I keep casting them in my external relationships? Now let's move to Aquarius. Aquarius is the visionary, the rebel, the humanitarian who sees 10 steps ahead of everyone else and cannot understand why no one else sees what's so obvious. Aquarius energy is innovative, detached, and when unintegrated, emotionally unavailable. Contrarian for its own sake, and so focused on the collective that the individual is forgotten. If Aquarius keeps showing up in your life as someone who is brilliant but emotionally distant, who makes you feel like a cause rather than a person, who is committed to everyone in theory but unavailable in practice, the mirror is this: you are intellectualizing your emotions. You are so focused on understanding life that you have stopped feeling it. Aquarius governs individuality, innovation, community, and the future. When Aquarius appears as your teacher, the question is this: where have you retreated into your head to avoid your heart? Where are you performing nonconformity while actually being deeply afraid of what makes you truly uncomfortably different? And where are you investing in everyone and everything except your own emotional needs? The lesson Aquarius brings is this: your uniqueness is not a flaw to manage, it is your greatest offering. But vision without feeling is just strategy. Come back into your body, come back into your heart. The revolution begins internally. For example, if you keep attracting Aquarius partners who are emotionally unavailable despite being intellectually stimulating, ask yourself, where am I doing the same? Staying in my head, analyzing my feelings rather than feeling them, keeping people at arm's length in the name of independence. Now let's move to Pisces. Pisces is the mystic, the empath, the dreamer who lives at the boundary between worlds. Pisces energy is boundlessly compassionate, spiritually attuned, and when unintegrated, escapist, self sacrificing, and so merged with others that there is no self left. If Pisces keeps showing up in your life as someone who needs constant saving, who is lost in addiction or fantasy or victimhood, who pulls on your compassion until you have nothing left, the mirror is this: you are avoiding reality in some area of your life, and your compassion has no container. You are bleeding yourself dry for people who have not asked to be healed. Pisces governs spirituality, the solution, compassion, and transcendence. When Pisces appears as your teacher, the question is this: where are you escaping? Where are you using spiritual bypassing? Using spiritual concepts to avoid dealing with what's real. Where is your compassion functioning as a way to feel needed rather than a genuine offering? And where have you dissolved so completely into someone else's reality that you have lost contact with your own? The lesson Pisces brings is this: surrender is not the same as collapse. Compassion requires a self to give form. Spirituality must be grounded in reality, or it becomes another form of escape. Trust the unseen, but don't use the unseen as a reason to avoid the seen. For example, you keep attracting Pisces partners or friends who are lost, chaotic, and drain your energy. So ask yourself, where am I lost in my own life? Where am I using someone else's chaos as a distraction from facing my own? And where has my desire to help actually been a way to avoid my own healing? Now that we have gone through all 12, let's talk about what it means when one sign keeps dominating your life. If you keep attracting the same sign romantically, that sign's archetypal lesson is your primary relationship curriculum. It is the wound you are meant to heal through intimacy. You will keep attracting that energy until you integrate the lesson. Not by changing your type, but by doing the internal work the sign is pointing to. If a sign keeps appearing in your professional life, your career is being used as the curriculum. The lesson is about how you wield power, seek validation, create, or assert yourself in the world. If a sign keeps appearing in your friendships, look at how you show up in community, how you give and receive, how you allow yourself to be known. And if a sign appears across all areas of life, romantic, professional, family, and friendship, that is a karmic lesson. That archetypal frequency is your soul's primary work in this lifetime. The goal is never to avoid a sign. Avoidance just delays the lesson. The goal is to receive it and to ask, what is this energy teaching me? What is unresolved in me that this sign keeps activating? When the lesson is learned, the energy shifts. You will still encounter those signs, but they won't have the same charge. The same intensity, the same pattern won't play out because you have integrated what they came to teach. The universe is not random. The people who enter your life are not accidents. The patterns in your relationships, the signs that keep repeating, the dynamics that keep playing out, are not bad luck or poor judgment. They are curriculum. Every Scorpio who turned your life upside down was an invitation to transform. Every Libra who couldn't tell you the truth was showing you where you were performing instead of connecting. Every Capricorn who withheld approval was reflecting the internal authority you haven't yet claimed. Every Pisces who needed saving was showing you where you were lost in your own life and didn't know how to name it. The mirror doesn't lie, it only reflects. The question is never, why do I keep attracting this? The question is always, what is this showing me about what I haven't yet healed, integrated, or become? Because the moment you receive the lesson, truly receive it, do the work, integrate the medicine, the pattern changes. Not because the word that changes first, because you do. And when you change, what you attract changes. So I leave you with this. Think about the sign that has shown up most powerfully in your life, not the one you think you are most compatible with, the one that has taught you the most, the one that has brought the most charge, positive or painfully or both. What was it trying to give you? What are you still holding that it came to take? What are you still avoiding that it came to reveal? The stars do not control your life, but they do speak language through the same archetypal energy. And the universe has been sending you the same message through that same archetypal energy because you are finally ready to understand it. If you're recognizing patterns in the signs you attract and you are ready to do the deeper work, pass the astrology into the actual healing. This is exactly what we do in the Alchemical Pattern-to-Healing Framework. Private mentorship and coaching information is at the link in the show notes below. Until next time.